I feel like there are not enough Christians that know enough about what they're living. You dig what I'm saying? And if it's the most important thing in your life, then you should know the ins and outs of it, dates,
all right,
everything.
Hold on.
Am I correct?
No, well, I get you. I get you. But that extends past religion. We have people who claim all types of ways of life and they don't know everything about it.
Straight up.
We got people who...
I don't know exactly where he's going to go with this, but just because they claim and just because they can be a group of people doesn't necessarily mean that Hoffa is not right at all. You probably should know a little bit about what you're preaching, especially since I think it's in the Bible. I'm pretty sure it's in there. And how I know I'm pretty sure is because you're also supposed to go preach the word in y'all's name. I was in a movie with D-1, and by the way, I am in no way, shape, or form saying that so I can put a clip of my clips of the movie above me or anything like that. This is not about me, okay? This is about Math Hoffa, D-1, all right? I do not like the implications that you know what? We're going to go back to the damn show.
Come in here claiming to be hip-hop heads and can't tell you who the Violators were, can't tell you who
a hip-hop head,
Cool G Rap was.
Hip-hop head and how you base your existence.
Niggas be Muslim eating pork.
Kai Cenat was just...
It's a fact.
Right. Kai Cenat was just on the phone with John Monopoly. John Monopoly said, I know all about the Bronx. I'm actually a violator. He was like, I don't know who that is. The Violators? The Violators. I don't know who that is, gang. I was born in 19... Whoa, hold on a minute. You claim this thing, though. How do you not know this? This is your whole thing. That's like me and a guitarist and not knowing who Eric Clapton is.
I want to say, yo, shout out to Kai. Kai, I don't knock you, but this young nigga thing, like, it needs to stop, bro.
Right. Again, that's why it's not an even parallel. Trying to draw a parallel to religion and what you're supposed to know and know. Again, you probably should know the stuff if you're supposed to preach the stuff, and that's kind of what Christianity be telling folk. Versus rappers, and especially now, it's just kind of cool to not know your history of rap. And not even just rap, it's just history of anything. Everybody, well, I was born in 2002. Why would I know that? You realize 99.9999% of history has been lived outside the 21 years that you've been alive, you stupid mother. Again, I am not in any way doing this to promote the fact that I was in a movie. That movie, by the way, name is what the fuck is the name? I'll get back to you. I don't remember.
Because in a couple of years, you're not going to be a young nigga no more. You know what I mean? And if the culture is to not respect the people that came before you, then expect that in the future. Expect someone to be sitting there like, who's Kai Cenat? Like, I don't know who the hell that is. Like, the disrespect needs to stop. Like, if you're about this culture, let's make it important. Because there's a white boy in Minnesota right now that can give you the list of who's the Violators, who started hip hop and what dates and all that. If they could tell us, why don't we respect our own culture? Why? Because there's people like you sitting around acting like it's not important to know who came before you. Like, let's stop that revolving door of, let me make the people before me unimportant so I can feel important. Let's stop that.
Literally.
By the way, it's dumb anyway. It makes no sense. You are actually pushing against history. All of history. All of it. The entire history of the world when you try to say, I don't need to know anything past where I was born. You know why? Especially when you're an artist or anything. Damn it. You know why? Because nothing is original. Like every story originates from like 8 different stories. Like fucking Hamlet and the Iliad, the Odyssey. Like that's like 8 stories. And then they morph the stories around those stories. Every one of the stories, same damn story. Repackaged. So you're saying I don't need to know. For example, say you were like that as a comedian. I don't need to look at these new comedians. You know what I'm saying? I'm my own man. You realize even indirectly, you were being influenced by Chris Tucker and Martin Lawrence, who was influenced by Eddie Murphy, who blew it up and made rock star comedians a thing. So there's not a thing of rock star comedians without Eddie Murphy, who was influenced by Richard Pryor, who made the crossover because, you know, comedians weren't going from movies to stand-up to movies. You know who did? Richard damn Pryor.
He just said that in Mechanism Monday. He literally just said that exact same thing. You can't throw stones and hide your hands behind your age. You're either gonna be if you start if you children are meant to be seen and not heard and
that's
stay out
the
of
case.
grown folks'
When you hit 27, plug yourself because it's over.
Because you ain't young no more.
You ain't young no more. Plug yourself.
We here at My Expert Opinion do not advocate deleting yourself in any way, shape,
Yo, but I'm just saying, like, that needs to stop.
But Matt, as much as I rock with you, I rock with how you come in. But see that same type of energy that you got for like a Kai, man, won't you have that energy for these dudes that's in their 40s and 50s in hip hop that's still acting like the way they was when they was 22? Because like you said, you're gonna get older.
Right.
But what my problem with our culture is not the Kais, because when we was 20, what you was doing when you was 22?
Oh yeah, I was bugging.
You was bugging. You was wilding, right? You was bugging when you was 22?
It was all hip hop.
Straight up.
That's right.
You was bugging when you was, I know you was
damn
probably.
right.
Ain't no telling what you
I
was
might be
doing.
on camera while.
Right.
I might be on camera while at 22.
Bro,
You know what I
that
mean?
being said, my issue is with double that 22 and turn it into 44. Turn it into 48 years old.
You got to make it there. You know what I'm
Turn
saying?
it into that, and now you still got people in our culture that are supposed to have that same that type of energy that you got, to where it's like, yo, I'm mature now. I know better, so I do better. It says that in the Bible. You know what I mean?
Right.
I know what you're thinking. Noah, what's the name of that damn movie? Still don't remember. But the other thing that you're thinking is, Noah, is D1 exactly how he portrays himself on every platform? Yes. 100%. But I mean, he's not on the platform. He's trying to get a message across more, so he comes off more preachy. He's not always preaching. He's just always kind of got the, you know how like people have just a good soul and want to bring light to all those around them. That's kind of how it is. So it's not him preaching all the time. Again, when you go on platforms, his platform and his brand is preachy. So he's going. That's what he's here to do. He's here to spread word versus in reality, but he still maintains that same focus, which is cool. Because most people, I won't say most people, a lot of people are not who they say they are. Surprise, motherfuckers!
Hard eyes, motherfucker. Rude eyes, motherfucker. Supplies, motherfucker. Some fries, motherfucker.
When you mature and you grow older, you put away all childish things. My issue with this culture is we got too many of the OGs that's really DGs. That's disappointing grown-ups. You heard me?
Right.
Because they grown in age, but they're not grown in maturity.
All right, let's get to it. Who you talking about?
Man, I'm talking about 95% of the OGs in hip hop right now. That's 35 and up.
You
If you're
got
95?
Because
Listen, brother,
95 is crazy.
Listen, all right, y'all
95
want
is crazy.
Y'all want to bring it down to 90? That's cool. That's cool.
Damn.
We'll do that.
Who is that?
If you're 35 and up and you're still glorifying murder in your music and glorifying all the dope that you sold, you're a disappointment.
You're a disappointment.
And you're problematic to the
who?
culture at this point.
To who?
The culture. The people listening to you, looking up
Why?
to you. Why?
Why?
Because at that point, if you have made it, if you ever lived that life in the first place,
Right.
because most of y'all capping, y'all wasn't really, you know what I mean, wasn't really busting no guns and all that. But if you were living that life, by the grace of God, brother, you made it through that.
Right.
And now you an OG. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you supposed to talk to the
YGs,
babies coming
to the
up,
YGs.
to the YGs about how to not have to go through that.
Right.
But okay.
But if you still glorifying it, like, man, back
when
when I
you
was
say
a young
glorifying it, what do you mean?
glorifying it, brother. Let's just listen to any music that's out nowadays. What are you talking? You not gonna do this with me. You not gonna do this with me.
Hold on.
Right. I don't know if Math is playing devil's advocate or really seeing things from a completely different way of living life or looking at life, which has helped me in when being frustrated with people. It's just realizing that everybody lives in their own damn universe. Now, sometimes those universes are stupid, and so I walk away. But sometimes I'm like, you know what? They're just completely just not. They don't process the same thing I process. And so that's what I'm wondering. Is he trying to be devil's advocate or is he trying to process in a different way? In fact, I would argue who is not. Who is this completely changed? I definitely can't think of 5 that are major rappers that are over the age of 35. Still, you don't have to go like, most of them still talking about the same thing in some capacity. Like, for example, Jay-Z's changed up his stuff since when he was in his 20s and 30s, but he still talks about some of the things. He just switched it up. He's not first person, he's third person.
You're not gonna do this with me.
Because there's something I gotta explain. I gotta establish first.
Go ahead.
Before the culture of hip hop, there's street culture. And a lot of us came up in street culture before we really became part of hip hop. So that street culture is the foundation of where a lot of these thinkers, these creators, these writers, these stories, that's where it's.
By the way, let me tell y'all my stance on the situation. I think there needs to be an even ground, just like everything. Your diet, okay? Well, I'm gonna go on all carbs diet. Well, that's not how you do it. You're gonna lose weight as soon as you get back off eating meat. Boom, blow up. Same thing in reverse. Same thing with most diets. The similar situation. So can I get a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that? I need bits and pieces. The problem is that it seems to be a singular focus on one brand. And so, it brings out the D1s who's like, okay, the only thing I'm getting is this. Like, you can just rewind to the 90s. Yes, you were getting gangster rap, and that is very much glorified in the media about, 90s, gangster. But you know who else was in the 90s? Outkast. You know who else was in the 90s? Tribe Called Quest. You know who else was in the 90s? Brand Nubian. You know what I'm saying? There was a mixture of Diggable Planets. There was a mixture of Lauryn Hills and Wyclef Jeans, Fugees. Like, there's a mixture of those. Now it just kind of seems like it's strip hop and gangster. And I think that's what he's attacking. But one thing I would say is I would get defensive too if I feel like I'm only singularly being attacked. I feel like if D1 would say what he's saying, but also recognize, hey, guess what? I don't want to hear Christian rap either all the time. Sorry. This world is not like that. So sometimes I want to turn up and be ridiculous. And guess what? The world is not sunshines and green clovers and blue diamonds. So I need something to reflect that, other sides. But yeah, but the problem is it's just one singular promotion.
Coming from. I started rapping about the truth to impress the OGs on my block because they didn't like the fake shit. And that's embedded in me. Now I gotta tell the truth on a record, and I'm realizing, I should have shut my mouth about a lot of stuff. I should have kept it low. But the OGs that I came up with, they didn't like us capping. There was a dude down the block that was retarded nice lyrically, but they hated him because that shit was real.
He was capping, right.
Math, we know you do this. We know you did that. We know that really happened. They appreciated the authenticity. So that street culture was the foundation of me trying to get into this hip hop thing. You get what I'm saying?
So here's my thing. Do you believe in God?
Of course I do.
You love God?
Yes.
Do you love hip hop?
I love God so much, I used to pray before robberies.
All right. That's wild. Do you love hip hop?
Yes.
So on your totem pole, what you love more, God or hip hop?
I would say God.
With that being said,
yeah,
you shouldn't be creating
I'm sorry. Whenever somebody says that's wild, just out of the blue, it makes me laugh extra hard. I don't know why. It is my laughter trigger. That's wild. That is wild. I can just imagine Jesus being like, huh? Like what? That's incredibly wild. Yeah, I love Jesus so much. I used to pray before I committed robberies. Thug life, bitch. Jesus' name I pray, amen. That was 2.
the type of hip hop that God would be like, nah, I can't rock with that, partner, because I gave you life. I gave you that talent. And if you using your time and your talent in a way that's not glorifying me, then I can't stand by that.
Well, I got to ask you then. We talking about God. The Bible. In the Bible, correct. Moses bodied somebody and hit him in the sand. You think God was down with it or he was against it?
Nah, I don't think that God was down with that, brother.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Because God's commandments say thou shalt not kill.
No, the commandment says in the Hebrew text, thou shalt not murder. Murder and kill is two different things. Sometimes you got to kill to eat. Sometimes you got to kill to protect. To murder is to kill without reason, without a warranted reason to do so. Like if you're standing there and somebody walk in here and just walk up to you with a knife, you're gonna defend yourself. Now, in defend yourself, let's say you push that person and he falls.
All right, real quick. Don't slippery slope me in the Bible. There's so much slippery slope. That's why there's so many different sects of the Bible, because did they really mean murder, or did they mean, people are different times, say different things. Murder, kill, murder, war. Because God does say it's okay with war as well. That's murder and killing. So, it's like time paradoxes. Science and religion, y'all so close. Just it's just like a time paradox. You get to thinking about it, you just gonna end up just frustrated. So stop. There's an easy comeback from. I'm gonna see what he says. There's an easy comeback. By the way, my background is grew up in the church. Grow up in the church, and then there's like there all the time. Upsettedly, all the time. That was me.
He hits his head on one of these nice chairs that we got from the barber plug. Shout out to the barber plug.
Shout out to them.
You know what I'm saying? That's not murder.
Well, they didn't kill him.
You were defending yourself. You get what I'm saying? So in street culture, when if I've been in a situation where I know I walk into this situation, these guys tried to rob me, or there were some guys down the block that didn't like my friends, so they came through to do something to us, so we had to do something to them so that we could live. This is the mindset of street culture. It's not so much glorification like, yo, I don't like that guy, so I killed him. You know what I mean? Like, I can never really like, okay, if you're playing a character in your music, then cool. But that would never be cool for me to listen to. You know what I'm saying?
Cool. But when you got rappers that's now saying, yo, I'm lying in 95% of my rhymes.
Yeah.
When Fat Joe said that, how you felt about that?
So that's another thing. Now, I don't know. I didn't get too deep into it. By the way, let's congratulate Math Hoffa on his blow up. He's getting bigger and bigger on his stage. That's dope. So words are funny, and the way they're phrased are funny. So I can be like, for example, give you for a prime example. Snoop Dogg, when he came out and said he wasn't smoking, Dee-1 also came out with a message saying, okay, things are changing. My brother Snoop is not smoking anymore. Where in reality, Snoop was full of shit. Snoop was being the funniest man on earth per usual. And he was, making some money per usual. So the way you phrase words can be funny. You got to look between the words. Like, I'm lying in 90. Like, I'd have to see it. How did Fat Joe phrase it? Like, for example, I could say I'm lying in 95% of my raps. At what point are we talking? Okay, well, in the 90s I wasn't lying, but up until I wasn't. Or you could be like, just at a certain moment in time. Or was it I'm lying about 95% of my raps from the duration of my career? My whole career is not. I feel like that is not the case. And what is also a lie? Because all these rappers give you different views. Like, famously, Nas's view from kind of the reporter versus the first person. I see both sides. I definitely see for both sides. I mean, you can't just, first of all, I mean, what Math is talking about is you can't take what D1 seems to want to take, or, you know, open. And I'm sure actually there's some nuance with D1, what D1's point, but it seems like just the way he presents it sometimes, he wants to take it all out. Everything should be God and positivity. And like I said earlier, world's not positive. Now, and we don't always want to see positivity. Now, that's in R&B. That's in every music. Johnny Cash. And generally speaking, the music of the people, the music from the struggle, if it's not, you know, talking about the struggle, thus Johnny Cash is talking about the perils of the struggle. So I don't think we're going to get that out of music. It's not just rap. Take me down to Paradise City. I want you. Look above. There's more reactions. Why don't you go on and select them? Follow me. Like, subscribe. Later.